I was completely incapable of opening myself back up again because I also had this deep-seated fear around exposing my vulnerability because I'd been hurt so many times in the past. So to listeners out there who might be experiencing the same thing, I want to talk this through because I know that it was a huge deal for me to learn how to expose my vulnerability and be okay with that. And I have some very amazing girlfriends to thank for helping me teach that. But it wasn't until my later years that I started learning all of this and realizing it and putting it into practice. So for everybody out there, Daisy, who is struggling with how do I keep myself safe and show my vulnerability, what would you say to them?
Well, number one is choose wisely. It doesn't mean because I have vulnerabilities that now I carry it out in the world. Doesn't make them go away, but I'm looking for my audience where I'm sharing my vulnerability with. Because if I share my vulnerability, and I may do that, but who is putting whom at risk? I do it myself, so I'm not the victim. I'm the actor. That is a big difference.
That's important. Yeah, that's really important. So choosing to expose yourself is the first thing because it stops you being a victim.
Choose to whom? Only because I'm vulnerable and I may have the need to speak about it doesn't make the audience better. Now let me go one step back. In order for me to show my vulnerability in a healthy way, not because it's healthy for me to share, but the audience being capable of receiving it in healthy ways, it's all about the quality of the audience. I'm not talking about an audience, thousands of people there in front of stage. I'm not talking about that. But an audience can also be your mother or can be your son or your spouse or your boss or your coworkers, your friends, your neighbors, your community. So without trust, I would not share my vulnerability openly. I would maybe test the waters, but why would I even speak about my vulnerability to an audience I cannot trust?